Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. Happy New Year, and thanks so much for being here. This really is your year to do the most amazing things that you ever thought that you could do, and really, your first step in getting there is by being here. So thanks again for joining me. I'm really happy to have you here, and we're ready to get in and start going over the keys that I sent you. They were the 5 steps to making your goals a success. And I'm going to cover your 2 important ways to reset for weight loss, as well as magical methods for making it all happen, and also share with you the secret to my success. So when I finish up, I'll give you a way that you can go ahead and get started to make sure that this year is really the year that you pull it all together, that you reset, and you rock it out. So here we go. Starting off with the 5 steps that are really going to help you make your goals a success. And I'm going to use the SMART model in doing it. You may be a little familiar with it and have had some minor success with it in the past. And what I find is that my clients really begin to excel as we really get a little bit deeper into just the generals. So I'm going to give you the formula and just brief description of each one, and then I'll give you an example of how you can apply it for yourself using some of the suggestions that I've gotten from the community around the subject. So here's number 1. So the S stands for specific. And it really is time to start dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's, and really getting a little more, not a little bit more, but a lot more actually detailed into what it is that you do want. You may find that you've made some vague statements in the past, like, I want more money, I want to lose weight, I want to get out of debt, any of those type of things. But unfortunately, that just really isn't enough. That isn't going to cut it at this stage of the game. If you really want to excel, if you really want to be standing in your power and to really rock your life, you need to do more than that. So we're going to help you with some of the ways to tie that in. But that's it, is getting in and making a list of when you say that you want to lose weight, what are all the components that you can think of right now that could get as specific as possible and as detailed as possible to, like, just to let you know, in my background, before I was a success coach and medical intuitive, I was a fitness trainer and lifestyle consultant. And many times when I was working in the weight loss clinic and as I was studying to become a fitness trainer and get my certification and all of that, people would come in and they had a specific short-term goal, and it would be that someone was getting married, or maybe it was their relative or their son, their daughter, or they were going to a high school reunion. Those are some of the most common things that people want to drop those quick 5 for, and really have that short term. And so what happens is that it gets them this far, and then they have the event, and then they go back again, and then some. And I'll talk about that a little bit later in the 2 ways to reset and what the focus is there. So just to give you a little example of that, is that when people would start to say, well, I want to lose 5 pounds for this upcoming reunion. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't like that type of food and all these type of things. So it's up to you to start being specific about what it is that you do want and what you're willing to do. So our next letter is M, and that stands for measurable. So really, how are you going to gauge your progress, right? what are some of the things that can help keep you in line with when you know you're going to reach your goals and the progress that you're making as you go and work towards those goals. So we want to like really have something that is able to measure that progress for you. And for instance, with my training clients, we would first of all set that, be specific and say, okay, we're gonna, it's January 1st, and on March 5th, we're gonna run the 5K for the Revlon, and raise some money and do a good cause and do something really good for yourself and for other people. And so, okay, we have that measure to be able to do it. I would have them keep a log, and they would very simply just get maybe like a little 3x5 index folder, flip folder. And so each time that they went in and did cardio on their own, they went outside, they got up running up to a mile, they would jot that down along with any discomforts they had. They would keep a log of what they were eating, and it was all just monitoring their progress, so that then when they came in to meet with me, I'd be able to look and say, okay, you're doing this, this, and this. And that would then also help us make sure that our SMART goals are being met. If there's any you want to have some flexibility, so that if there's a component that isn't working out of any of these 5 that I'm giving you, then hey, I got to tweak it a little bit. And then, with my clients, what I do, we hone in and we say, okay, what are some of the things that we can, just ditch, kind of like the swipe, right? You take it off and you just delete it. And then we want to add in a new app, right? So we want to give a new action that they can do that's going to help them along, move them along. So moving into our next letter that is attainable, which fits that exactly. So really is, how attainable is your goal? Is it too much of a stretch for you? You have to look at, one of the other common things that I hear a lot is, I used to be able to, and then it drops off. So, we have things that are stepping in. You have factors like aging, tolerations, your life changes. You may be in a new relationship. You could be in a new job. You could be living in a new area. There's any number of things. Your health could change. There's any number of things that come in and say, okay, well, what I used to do, it can give me a little bit of a benchmark, but is it really attainable and achievable right now? And again, then coming into the next step of relevant, is it really realistic for your body, for your time, for all the resources that you have, and is it really a good fit for where you are right now, as opposed to where you were, a year ago, 6 months ago, a week ago, or 5 years ago? And that really is, those are some of the things that we're looking at. So we've got being specific, measurable, and attainable, and also relevant. And so our last part of the model is T, the letter T, for timed. And that really is, you want to give yourself some urgency. So let's say starting with something that's a month away or 3 months away is something that really gives you something shorter term that is not too long of a time. And it's also like, okay, this is really like more like right now, right? You don't want to say a week from now, because that's really kind of like too much pressure, unless it's something that is specific, it is attainable within that time frame, that it's measurable and so forth, that it really fits that. But generally, we're looking for something that is anywhere from 1 to 12 months away, right? So with that timed, you also want to say, okay, is it really reasonable for me to be able to and allow me to reach this goal, giving you accountability, and also giving you a little bit of pressure, not a lot, but just a little bit, again, just to amp it up and rev it up a little bit, so that you really step into and step up for what you're saying that you want, right? So so let's use weight loss as an example, okay? And so we want to say, well, I want to be specific. I want to lose weight. Is it, 5 pounds? Is it 10 pounds? Is it 20 or more pounds? And that makes a big difference. Are you presently exercising? What are you eating? How are your sleeping habits? What are you willing to do and what aren't you willing to do? So, what is your level, what is your knowledge base about food, about exercise, about your own body? And, what are some of the behaviors that you already have? What's your skill set? Do you know your way around the gym? Are you willing to get up and go walking? Even, most of us are experiencing bad weather now. It's the winter. And all of these things are factors to start considering about how specific you can be. And then also we add in all the other ones. Is it achievable, attainable? Is it measurable? Is it really relevant and realistic? And what is the time frame that you're setting yourself up for? So here's a realistic factor. If it has taken you 18 months to gain 20 pounds or more, how could you realistically expect that you'd lose it overnight? It just isn't going to happen. So again, we add in some of the elements of that. These are outside factors. These are what we call risk factors in terms of, just pure fitness and going for the American College of Sports Medicine, guidelines, which is the governing body of fitness. And it really is, you have risk factors like, what is your sex? Not how much, but, male or female. And then also, do you smoke? Do you have heart disease in your family? Do you have other, health risks in your family? There are some things that you can't alter. You can't alter how old you are. Realistically, male or female, you wouldn't alter unless you really wanted to. But being really in these areas of, your what you're prone to within your family, those things are there. You can do things like change your diet. You can change how much activity you give yourself. You can change what you eat. You can change, whether you smoke or drink a lot. All those type of things, those are alterable risk factors. So you can see how this is kind of, chunking up a little bit. So, but I want to give you a fuller picture so that you are able to use this model to be specific, to be realistic, and to know the amount of time that it will take you to reach something. So that is in and of itself. So being specific, come up with a number, and you can realistically expect when you're putting more than one thing together, and yes, this does take more than one thing. So it's a comprehensive unit. Your body, first of all, I'm going to give you some of my fitness and medical intuitive side of it is that knowing that the body is made up of systems. Okay, so if one gets out of whack, another one has to jump in and pick up the slack, fill in for it and help it along as you go through. So if your body is, let's say you have an injury and you did something to your neck, it's going to offset the rest of your body, and you have to be able to know that. Also, it's going to affect, what your activity level is. Can you go out and exercise? Is it just walking, or can you go lift? And if that's the case, guess what? There's always that component of nutrition. And that is one of the key, this is on another topic, you'll hear this on another seminar coming up, but really when we talk about some of the keys to aging well and doing it in a way that is smart and healthy, that mobility and really just following a good nutrition path are some of your key components there. So you can see that these are all coming into place there. And just to give you a little bit more about my background, I started off actually in business, working in a company. I have a BSBA. I majored in computer information systems, and I minored in applied psychology. I earned my degree from Bryant University, which is located in my home state of Rhode Island, and it is actually number 34 on Forbes' top 50 list of entrepreneurial colleges. So really good school, good institution, good background in through there. I then went on to become a programmer, worked in a jewelry company in Rhode Island, which was a big industry for quite a while there, and did it for a period of time and then realized it really wasn't my calling, really wasn't what I wanted to do. So what do? I went and I worked out a lot. I transformed my own body, and in the process, a lot of people started asking me, hey, can you train me? Can you help me write a routine? And I was like, okay. Let me get something behind it. So I went back to school and started studying and becoming certified as a fitness trainer and lifestyle consultant. And in the meantime, I worked specifically in a weight loss clinic. And, I learned a lot. I got a chance to sit down with people and really hear what they were going through. And a lot of things that I've just mentioned about, those short-term goals of like, hey, I've got, a wedding coming up this year. I've got, my high school reunion, all these type of things. Those are just like real things that people always are concerned about and that they want to start getting in shape for. Or they've had a health scare, and that's a really big one where they go, whoa, being in the hospital is no joke, and I can attest to that. I have had several knee surgeries and had a few things that went wrong, including a staph infection in one of my middle surgeries. And when your health takes a dive, it is no joke. You really want to be as healthy as possible. It's still, even though I'm not standing around counting reps in the gym anymore, being healthy and really giving yourself the level of self-care that you deserve are high on my priority list, and one that I incorporate into my programs when I'm working with people. So that's just a little bit about that. So then I went on to my fitness training career. I landed in Los Angeles. I had a great clientele. I worked with music and movie execs. I worked with some celebrities. I worked with the Beverly Hills crowd, the Jet Set crowd, and I really had a great time in doing it. I even trained members of the royal family, and it was just really, this like amazing experience to have as a career, personally and professionally, and just a blast. But I also knew there was another calling too. I was doing a lot of coaching during my fitness training sessions. I didn't really know it at the time, but then started recognizing it, and it really clicked for me when I discovered Coach U University before anyone even knew what coaching was, and that was like back in the late 90s. And then I finally, like around 2000, decided to plunk down, make an investment of a few $1,000s to invest in myself and to re-educate myself and start on the track of coaching. So in between, I had a lot of life happening. I stayed with my fitness for a while. I combined the two, was doing fitness training and coaching, and then decided to really move forward as I then got into visionary coaching and then becoming a success coach through Transform Destiny and learning a lot of methods with them that really complemented my skill set, and now being a medical intuitive as well, and really using my own innate talents, combining those with some really life lessons and applied knowledge, and it makes for a great skill set. So I bring all of this to you when I share information like this, because it is relevant. It is, I don't only just speak about it, I've actually experienced it. I know it firsthand. I know what it's like to have injuries. I know what it's like to have emotional duress. I know what it's like to move, to change job careers, to, have all of this life be happening of having a disease in my body. And thankfully for me, it was temporary. So again, this is, speaking to you on a lot of different levels. So let's get into, now that we've covered our SMART section and the model, and I'll follow up and I'll give you that in a PDF so that you can sit down and you can look at it. And I'll also give you an example of a way to really craft, a statement. So it's up to you to decide what you want and put it into action. And again, I'll tell you a little bit later how you can do that with me. And for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about two important resets in weight loss, because that's a big one, right? We're hitting off a new year. People want to know, hey, I want to get in shape. I've had this extra 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever it is. What the heck do I do? Well, let me tell you, the first important thing that you can do is take some information from that first section, the 5 steps. And the most important thing is really is realistic. Looking at where you are right now, and how realistic is your goal, and also where are you at? What is the measure you can give your own body? What are some of these applied uh, methods from the first model that you can look at and say, really, be smart about it. What specifically am I looking at here? Am I looking at just 5 pounds, or am I looking at 20? And again, depending on your shape and how old you are and all these other factors, whether you're exercising or not, how realistic is it for you, and what is the amount of time that you can expect to start to have some results? Really, if you're doing exercise, you're watching what you eat, and you're sleeping well, and all these keeping your stress levels down. And again, I hope you watch listen to the meditation that I gave you, and are able to do that on a regular basis, because that will really help you out. So we say, okay, if you want to get in shape and lose weight, the first thing that you need to do is have a realistic approach to it, and really have a plan and stick to it, to be able to to be able to reset your mind, to get it wrapped around what is it that, how I'm in this for the long run now. This isn't just about, those quick fixes that I was talking about earlier, like, doing it for a month or 3 months. No, this is about you saying, okay, I'm going to stand back in my power. I want a good body. I want to be healthy. I want to age well. I want to really pull it all together and say, now, before I did it was temporary. Cool. Whatever that was, that's in the past. Right now, I want this to be long-term for me. I want to start developing, ways to be able to take care of myself that are going to be long-lasting, that are going to give me results. And so really in that reset is for your body, for your mind, for your heart, to really get in touch and say, okay, this is what I've dealt with in the past, and now I release it. Just open yourself up with that, and set yourself up for success in a better way, and one that is going to allow you to have more consistency and more enthusiasm. Like, one of the first rules of when I was becoming a trainer, I remember one of my instructors saying to me, the question is always, hey, what's the best cardio, right? What do I do? What burns the most calories? And the answer back was, the one that you enjoy. And so if it's walking, get out there and walk. Find the amazing trails that are nearby. Make an adventure out of it. Maybe plan a trip when you have time on the weekend. Give yourself an overnight somewhere and go somewhere that's really amazing that you can do. And there's plenty of places that offer walking tours. They're becoming more and more popular. You could even add photography into it. I've got a friend who's doing that. There's like, the sky is the limit. There's always potential and possibility in every situation. And from my heart, that's really what I could give you ideas all day long. And that would be some of my suggestions, or find things that you really like. There's things that are more leisurely, like going bowling. So if you wanted to get in and wanted to up your game in bowling, what are some of the things that you could do before that, do some stuff that's overhead, get your shoulders prepped, get some mobility in through your day, start doing some mobility exercises, start doing some strengthening, upper body strengthening, mind strengthening, all these type of things. These are all things that you can do to add in that are going to help you, give you that reset, and allow you to really have, make this the last time that you're making weight an issue. Because you're going to enjoy the process. First of all, you're going to make a really strong decision. I'm really good at helping people get to the root cause of why they have so much weight, and you'd be surprised at one of those reasons, and they really don't have anything to do with the physicality. Other than that, that's how it's manifested in your body. So, if you want to explore that with me, just let me know. But I would tell you that right now, And that's probably one of the biggest things out there. Everybody focuses on the body only, and it isn't just a body only type of thing. Weight loss is really comprehensive. As I was getting towards the end of my training career, I developed a program, and I still use it with people now on a pure coaching level. Of course, I'm able, with my skill set, able to give them a whole lot more about, actually, during our session, we go in and I'm able to do a scan of their body, find out where the energy is blocked, be able to pull that out, look at it, and make some recommendations with that. Also do some muscle testing with them. It's really simple. If you stay within the circle, that means something is a yes. When it slides out, that's a definite no. And I could teach you about those type of things as well. I might even do a webinar on that coming up. But just know that your body wants to talk to you, your heart wants to talk to you, and there's a part of your mind that you haven't been fully using that wants to listen and wants to start getting things in action for you. So that's where that first reset is at. And the other thing that I want to share with you that really is a real big reset, and weight loss really jumps in on what I've just spoken about, and that is that abs aren't made in the gym. So it's kind of like, Muhammad Ali had this quote, and it was, champions aren't made in the gym. And it's the same thing. Your abs aren't made in the gym. You may not be going for the perfect six pack, but I'm sure that you want to get, lean enough so that your body looks good and people can see how toned you are and how fit you are. And, that means that everything that you're doing outside of the gym is really important too. So what are the resources that you're cultivating that aren't necessarily, in your workout? How much are you sleeping? How much water are you drinking every day? How are you hydrating yourself? How are you nourishing yourself? What are you eating? What are the foods that you're using? Are you really focused on things that will help to, give yourself a daily detox so that you're removing some of the toxins out of your body, that you're allowing your fat cells to shrink? These are really, so talk about going back to the SMART model and giving yourself some things to be really specific about, to get detailed in. These are the areas that you want to just start to open up to. And it is a gradual learning. And once you start, though, you'd be surprised how quickly and how easily and how effortless this really is. It really isn't all the, that people say, and spending hours in the gym. That's a fraction of it. And it is a combination of doing a couple of things. It isn't just doing cardio, and it isn't just doing weights. It's a combination of both. And there's so many, great modalities that you can use now. There's CrossFit, there's kettlebells, there's TRX, there's Pilates. There's you just have to find what it is that your body really responds well to, what you really like, and then start doing it. So that wraps us up in that section. And now we're on to magical methods. And, I do know that this was handy, and here it is. And I share this partly in jest, and it's something that I use with my clients and just say, now I've waved my magic wand on you, and presto, changeo. You have the result and the answers that you want. And in a way, it's true. So let me tell you what your magic wand is. First of all, I want to ask you, have you had a chance to listen to the bonus that I sent you? And that was my stress relief meditation. And if you have, that is the key right there, is allowing your body and your mind to relax so that you can open up and expand into your potential. I have a number of different modalities that I use to help people get into that space. The meditation was one, and easy enough to do, and why I shared it with you. And also, if you one of my in applying that bonus, I gave you a what's to do next, and that was to write out any thoughts that you had that came out of your meditation, and those would be really useful, especially if you're going to use it. You do a reset session with me, it would be something I would want to take a look at and say, okay, this is a good start, and then maybe give you some other writing prompts that we can move further along with. So that's that is the magic right there, is that, just, you know what, you've heard the saying before. I know this is, I hated to hear it for a really long time, but here it is: get out of your own way. And that is one of the biggest resets that I can give you. It isn't always easy, because you're hanging on to so much, right? You're just like, even though like in your heart you want to like just let go, your mind just keep going and going and going and rehashing the same old stuff over and over again. You're like, I've had it. And that really is where a lot of my clients come to me from, is they're just so fed up, and they're like, I've done all of these things, I've done the work, and I'm still where I was. And the truth is that they really are exactly where they were. They've definitely have made some progression out of that. But when you keep coming up to those same issues over and over again, it really sucks, right? You're like, the F, right? Like, you're done. Especially after, if you've had years of therapy, if you have body issues and you've done physical therapy and acupuncture and done massage and, tried everything. And even in weight loss, right? You think you've tried everything and nothing works. The food's not working. That you just don't have the right combination just yet. So in a reset, I really want to help you like get that right combination and really get in there and just refine it, so that then that just becomes what you do, right? There isn't any weight loss or any other issues, that these looming type of things that are going to have that much importance. It's just like, man, I'm done. We're done with it, right? And now it's moving on. And now I can be a healthier and happier version of myself. And after all, that is what everybody wants, right? To have freedom, to have that peace of mind, that the issues that you've been dealing with for years and years, just poof, they're gone. And that is part of my specialty. So the way that we do that, I'm going to give you a really simple example right now. You can do right now in your seat, and that is just close your eyes, lift your shoulders up, roll them back, expand open and through your chest, relax your hands on your desk or in your lap. Take a nice deep breath, get as deep into your diaphragm as you can, and exhale all of your worries, all of your cares, anything that you came into this call with, and just be. And feel that space that's you, and really tap into something that you really like. It could be time that you spend with your kids, or with your pet, or with your partner, with your friends, doing something, maybe going to the gym, maybe traveling. What is that last vacation that you took? And just think about that and see that you get that immediately. It just gives you that energy and fills you up. Let it fill you all the way up. Open your eyes and see how much more aliveness you have, how much brighter things seem, and how much your energy just came up. That is like one of the quickest resets that you can give yourself. And I've got other things like that too. I've got a little focal point right here that I've got some things that we call an anchor, some great emotions that just lift me automatically, some NLP2s, some EFT, some tapping, if you've ever heard of that, really just allowing yourself to acknowledge what's going on, release that, and set in some new energy. And that's really what it's all about. Those are what the magical methods are all around, is about taking all the areas that are blocked, unblocking them, releasing all of that, and allowing yourself to come up with new energy, so that you can really just get out there and rock, right? That is what you want. You want to have that freedom, just like your favorite rock star. If you're gonna, step up and step up into the microphone and just, belt it out and give it your best shot and just really rock out. That's a feeling that you want to have every day on a regular basis, right? The more that you can, isn't that the best? Sometimes though, I find this in working with clients, especially if they have like some hypervigilance or some type of issue that has really been really big for them, and they're like so wrapped up in that story. It's like, okay, let's find out what that story is, so that we can like break it down and really give yourself the perspective now, who you are right now, that can look at it and say, okay, that story is up here, I'm right here. How can I just whoosh, just bring up something new, give myself a new picture, a new story, something different to rock out. And that's part of that magical equation, which brings us into my phenomenon for success and what that takes. Gosh, it's going to be going on 14 years in February that I lost my sister. She was one of the 100 people that perished in the Station nightclub fire. And when it happened, it was the most devastating thing that I have ever experienced. I mean, it really just dropped me to the floor. I told you earlier about my surgeries and stuff, and that happened. I got hit by a van, and that dropped me to my knees. But this thing, man, it just leveled me out. It was like Eric Clapton, I'm tore up, and I'm like, right there laying on the floor, like, the drool coming out and everything, just a total hot mess, completely wiped out. And I had to make a decision about how I was going to come back up, how I was going to capture my spirit again, how I was going to connect to my values and my beliefs so that I could expand into my potential, like that is really what my learning curve has been, and my progression into being what I'm able to share with other people is to be able to do that. And it came with a decision. Right after it happened, and I had been in Rhode Island for about 5 weeks, and that was my home state where I grew up. However, it wasn't where my life was at anymore, and wasn't, where I lived. So I knew that when I was coming back to Los Angeles, things were going to change, and they did. My clientele was waiting for me. They were very patiently waiting for me to resume back to work, and it was a lot to wrap my head around. Also having like extreme emotional duress, all sorts of chemicals going on, survivor guilt, all sorts of things hitting me at once, along with some physical stuff. I still needed another knee surgery, believe it or not. And it was just like all this physical pain, all this emotional pain, all this like just so clouded in not being able to see clarity. But there was a light inside. It was like really dim. But there was that light, and I just focused on, I'm going to become a better person. And that was it. And that's what pulled me forward. So then I just started learning about all of these things that I'm ready to share with you and rock you out with, about how to pull it together, to be able to develop a daily practice that helped me to strengthen all of the areas that make us whole, right? Spirituality, physicality, emotion, energy, intellect, spirit, right? All of these things that are going to bring us into that spot where we're able to really know who we are, be rock solid in that, and experience the abundance and the joy of living, right? To really be able to be in your unique vibration, my unique vibration, what we call the law of vibration, and really be able to let that harmony be in every cell of our bodies, so that we can then send it out to the universe, what I like to call adding to the home of the universe. And then as we send it out into that collective, then we're able to receive the law of attraction, right? Being able to send out that vibration and have it complemented for what we're ready for out there, the new possibilities and potentials that are waiting out for you, especially this year in 2016. I so want to help you do that. It's an exciting, it brings me joy and it brings me excitement. It's how I know that I'm in my calling and doing the right thing. And I let you know at the beginning of the call that I was going to share with you a way for you to, really get rock solid, to be able to give yourself a reset. And that is with a reset session. And it's where all of my clients start. It is the beginning before they go on to a higher end program or whatever component that they want to focus on for short term. It's the basis. It's really, we always have that base structure, right, with that we build on, but we actually start from a different spot and work down. and I want to give you that opportunity. All you have to do right now is just email me, paula@pauladandrea.com. Let me know you're interested, and I'm going to give you the details on that. This session normally is $197. I've offered it at events when I go out and speak, and I've offered it to my community at 97. And right now, just because you signed up for this call and you're willing to, you took that first step, just like all of my other clients, to be able to step into your potential and your possibility, it is yours for only $67. All you need to do is act right now. That closes out at the end of today. Today is January 5th, Tuesday, January 5th. So you'll get an email in a short while from me, and all you have to do is click and say I'm in, and we're good to go, and I'll send you all the information to go ahead and do that. So I want this to be your most rockin', your absolute best new year. I want you to be out of whatever pain that you're in, everything that's holding you back, the limiting beliefs, all that, the two that sit on your shoulder. We want the one that has more light to scream louder and be able to really pull you forward this year and put you where you need to be in your life, and that is rocking your life. I'm Paula D'Andrea for pauladandrea.com. I'm so happy to have had you here on this call, and I look forward to getting together with you again and seeing you on the other side in a reset session. Thanks so much.